likes to suffer? Some hands. Well, I'm going to dive into a concept that has been a major driving force for my life over the past handful of years: elective suffering. Elective suffering is when you choose to go for a dream or a goal, or just to better your life and become a better person, and realizing that there are challenges and many different pieces of adversity that you have to step up to. They may even be unknown and just pop up out of nowhere. Human experience is pretty unique because throughout life we go through a wide spectrum of emotion, from betrayal, guilt, confusion, love, and contentment, and many others. As a mountain endurance athlete, I've had a pretty unique opportunity to experience these emotions on very intense scales while traversing ridge lines for 24 hours or even up to 72 at a time with very little sleep. Deciding to continue moving forward, even in the face of challenge and uncertainty, is what has brought me to where I am now, and really is what I consider part of the art of elective suffering. I really started diving into elective suffering when I was around the age of 22. I found myself lost with that much drive and really didn't know where to go in life. And so I joined the Navy to try to become a Navy SEAL. Elective suffering is a core foundation of Navy SEAL training, and no one is there to keep you there. You can quit whenever you want. And sure enough, in Hell Week of Buds, I found myself quitting and once again having no drive or passion in life. Until a little bit later, I realized that I can do whatever I want in this lifetime as long as I put my mind to it, realize the challenges, and step up to face them head on. After I got out of the Navy, I moved to Colorado and quickly immersed myself in mountain life. From skiing to climbing, running to hiking, and tagging multiple peaks in short amounts of time, I found that I was pretty good at this and keeping a pretty well mind in very dangerous places in these mountains. Since then, I decided to push my limits once again. Back in 2021, I set out to break a world record for the most vertical feet climbed in a single month. Over 31 days, I climbed over 400,000 feet, which equals to about climbing Mount Everest from sea level over 13 times, up and down. Throughout the month, I faced many struggles with physical problems, from fascia tears and just being beat down, and then every day mentally waking up deciding that I wanted to continue forward. Since then, I've broken over 20 fastest known time records in various mountain spaces, ranging from 30 minutes to multiple hours, several days in a row, or even weeks and months at a time. And now I'm going to focus on my most recent accomplishment, which was climbing all of Colorado's 14,000-foot mountains in one single calendar winter, becoming the second person to ever do it in a single calendar winter, as well as taking over 12 days off of the previous record. To be able to climb Colorado's 14ers in the winter takes a lot of different skills and mindsets, and some luck. From being able to mitigate and navigate Colorado's notoriously dangerous snowpack with avalanche conditions, to climbing and descending technical mountains using the ropes, crampons, ice axes, whatever is involved, and also having a pretty unique mindset, being willing to slog for multiple hours at a time through very cold, harsh environments. And for me, up to 22 hours during this project, multiple different days. I'm going to focus on a few of these challenges, starting with a voyage into the Chicago Basin, a place I had never been before prior to this project. Prior to the project, I'd only climbed about half of Colorado's 14ers in the summer, so a lot of this terrain was brand new to me, and I was stepping into a place that I'd never been before. My friend Scott Simmons and I set out to go into the Chicago Basin to climb the 4 14ers back there, and about 15 miles into the day, he had to turn around due to severe frostbite throughout his feet. For me, that was a really critical turning point in decision making, where I got to decide whether to turn back with him or continue on into the unknown and face the challenges head on by myself. After about 17 hours, I found myself standing on the final summit of the Chicago Basin, Eolus, watching the sunset throughout the Wimandouche Wilderness, and being overfilled with joy and emotion and just being completely present in the moment, realizing that I am here for this specific moment, and to realize that this beauty that I am standing in is something not a lot of people get to experience, knowing that to get back there, it's over 20 miles on skis. And since then, well, about 2 weeks later, I found myself up on the Maroon Bells with my friend Andrew Hamilton, who was the previous record holder for the Winter 14ers. We traversed from North Maroon to South Maroon and back to North Maroon over the course of 6 hours with 40-mile-an-hour winds and hyper-focus on this ridgeline in a place where if you miss a foot or miss a hand, you may fall and it will turn into a disaster really fast. And more than likely, no one's coming to get you until spring. This is also a ridge line that I can run in less than 30 minutes in the summer. So being up there for 6 hours kind of puts things into perspective of how much more difficult it is in the winter. After 22 hours, Andrew and I found ourselves safe once again in the vans, getting prepared to do it all over again a few days later. From the very beginning of this project, I had this weird suspicion that the final peak of this whole challenge would deliver the most challenges to me. And sure enough, Pyramid Peak delivered. Andrew, John, Jack, and I set out to climb Pyramid Peak, and on the way up to about 13,400 feet, we triggered multiple avalanches in various places on northwest aspects, from gullies to couloirs, figuring out how to mitigate these situations to climb this mountain safely. John and Jack decided to turn around and head down to allow me and Andrew to move faster to the summit. Andrew looked at me and he said, "We're going to climb this, man, but we can't die." And sure enough, that's what we did. Over the next handful of hours, we ascended many vertical faces and crossing dangerous snow paths. We stood on top of Pyramid, the final peak of the project, 72 days later. And for me, tears ran down my face realizing where I was. Looking back at all the mountains that I had climbed that led to this exact moment was just an overflow with emotion. I didn't even know how to really control it at the time, although we still had about 6 hours to get down and out of there. And sure enough, we did. Projects like these are big battles with the mind. When something goes wrong, or your mind is telling you no, or you're in physical pain, or you're just really cold and you've been out for 20 hours at a time, deciding that this is for me and that this is what I want to do is really what makes or breaks the art of elective suffering in a sense. Deciding to keep going in the face of adversity. Anybody can use elective suffering in their life, and it starts by identifying a goal or a passion, or just an aspect of your life that you want to grow and evolve, and realizing that there will be challenges along the way, and being willing to step up to those challenges and facing them head on. Realizing that on the other side of this journey of elective suffering, you may find something greater than you ever imagined before. Human experience is so spectacular because of this. We go through so many different experiences and feelings throughout life, and the way that we handle those and make decisions around these feelings and around these experiences is what shapes us. I encourage everybody here to explore elective suffering in your own life. Find a dream or a goal you'd like to chase. Realize those challenges. Become comfortable being uncomfortable. And realize that on the other side, something good might be there. Something more than you could have ever imagined. If you believe you can do something, or you think you can, just begin. Action has power, grace, and magic in it. Thank you.